You know those magical days that we all live for where everything lines up and there's birds everywhere and you're just taking shot after shot, you're in the zone, and then you come home and you've taken 4,000 images. And let's be honest, it's pretty hard to really crack that special shot unless you really smash that shutter when everything lines up. So it's really easy to fall into that trap of just dumping everything on a hard drive and then hoping that you'll sort it out later. But that can really snowball, and next thing you've got a backlog so big that you don't feel like you can ever get through it. Hi, I'm Sonia from Flying Parrot Photography, talking all things bird photography. So today I'm going to show you my process for downloading, sorting and selecting my images for editing. And Morty's going to be no help whatsoever.
The truth is, managing your files takes time and discipline, and it can be really tedious, but once you have a system in place, it's a bit less painful. My process begins in the field. I utilise downtime in between birds to have a quick flick through my last sequence and delete anything that's a definite no.
Now this can really chomp into your battery power, so only do this out in the field if you have ample battery time, and the other danger is that you might accidentally delete something that you didn't want to. So really take your time with doing this process if you're going to do it in the field, and just be careful. I just find that this shears off those photos that are a definite no, and it just saves me having to deal with them when I get home. Now I just want to mention that I only shoot in RAW, so I only have one RAW file per photo. I don't do JPEG and RAW, and the reason for that is I'd rather just have one file rather than two. It's just more data and more images to deal with as far as I'm concerned, so I keep it really simple and just shoot plain RAW.
Next, I use OM Capture to import my OM RAW files into a folder on my desktop. You might be able to skip this step. I have an older operating system and my current Lightroom won't directly import the RAW files. Next step is to grab about 300 photos and import them into Lightroom, and they all go into albums sorted by location.
The reason I store my photos by location is because I can't remember what month, what year I took the photo, but I can always remember where I took it. So this really works great for me. So I'll grab a couple of hundred images at a time, and then I'll select the ones that are for a particular location and download them straight into that album on Lightroom. I usually just import about 300 images at a time. I find that's a nice manageable amount for me to get through, because you need to be methodical, and I really like to follow the same process over and over. If I did 4,000 images in one go, I would be tearing my hair out by the end. By doing 200 or 300 at a time, I can get through that batch and then go back to the start and do that same process with the next ones, and it just doesn't seem quite so tedious.
With all my images importing into Lightroom, I like to take a little coffee break while they upload to the cloud. Otherwise, I find there's an annoying lag when I do anything with them, even deleting. Next, I turn my caps lock on and use the X key to mark any images I want to delete, leaving any that are potential keepers. By turning on caps lock, you immediately jump to the next image after flagging, so it's quite a speedy process. If you don't use Lightroom, it's well worth doing a Google search to find out if there's shortcut keys for your program. It's a real time saver. I'm not making final decisions just yet. It's just a fast and easy trim down of anything that's blurry or an obvious no.
Now, I am aware there are some fantastic apps these days that can do some of the work for you, such as deleting photos off that aren't sharp, but personally I prefer to review my photos myself. I do take ID shots, some of those probably aren't sharp. I do take some kind of kooky shots every now and then that are just ideas for composition, and it's just to remind me for later. So personally, I prefer to actually go through all my photos myself and select them, but it's entirely up to you. The point here is not to follow my process, but to have a process. That is what makes the whole thing so much less painful.
I then use the filter tool to show only the flagged images, and then select all the flagged images and delete. Note that you can unflag an image before deletion, and even after deleting, they will still be in the recycle bin if you make a mistake. Now it's time to take a closer look, zooming in at 200% and marking any again where the eye isn't sharp or that are obviously a little bit soft, repeating the same flagging then deleting process. I like to use the split screen here and compare images side by side, so I can really check which eye is the absolute sharpest. Now I'm getting down to the wire, so it's time to slow down and zoom out and have a closer look at the entire composition. Some people like to leave this final cut until at least a few days after taking the photos. It's surprising how different ones can appeal when you let them sit for a while. The final selection includes looking at things like pose, the way the light falls on the subject, whether or not there's an eye catch, and what's happening in the background. I've created a free PDF showing my criteria with examples of what does and doesn't make the final cut. Link is in the description to download. Or you might like to watch this next video, which details what I think are some essential ingredients for a great shot. Happy birding and talk to you soon.